Hello, hi. Instructional guide for primary 3, term 2, week 10. For this week, I've got two books: addition of fractions and sorry, subtraction of fractions, and then I've got a word problem. I think it's relatively easy, so we're going to do just some of the key questions in these two booklets. Rest of the time, I think we might need to go through comparison of fractions with students, because I understand that many, are still not very familiar with concepts, especially when they have to order three fractions. All right. So if there is time after going through these two booklets, please go through with your so-called students the comparison part. Okay, so let's start with subtracting fractions. I think the idea is similar to addition. Okay, for like fractions, it's quite easy, right? You might want to do a quick recap. Okay, in fact, just move straight on to doing, no, actually, my bad. Just quickly introduce. So for example, if you have, for example, okay, let me get my annotation ready. Apologies. So for example, you have 7 out of 8, right? And you minus 3 out of 8. Okay, and so the idea is if the denominator is the same, you can just subtract the numerator. All right, so 7 out of 8 parts minus 3 out of 8 parts, you get 4 out of 8 parts. Okay, and not to forget, okay, of course, this is a bit advanced for them, but ask them to consider, do they need to simplify the answers? So for fractions, every time, even if you're not asked, right, they got the sorry, even if they're not told to simplify the answers, they got to consider, do I need to simplify? And in this case, yes, you need to simplify, right? Try always dividing by 2 first, dividing by the same number, 2 on top, 2 below. Okay, so let's get on to the topic. So if like fractions, you can subtract this way, but what if the fraction is unlike? So for example here, Kira ate 5/8 of a pie, Anna ate 1/4 of the same pie. How much more pie than Anna did Kira eat, right? So in other words, Kira ate how much more, which means you got to take 5 out of 8 minus 1 out of 4. And so these are unlike fractions, right? Because the denominator is different. In which case, okay, in order to solve the question, you got to make sure that they have the same denominator, right? So just like comparison, we need to convert one of the denominator into another so that you can compare. We always compare. We always convert the one with the smaller denominator most of the time, right? So for the smaller one is 4, so we need to convert. So on the side, convert 4 first, 1/4. If you were to convert into a fraction with a denominator of 8, right, it'll be 8. It'll be 4 times 2. And then on top times 2 would be 1 times 2 equals 2. All right, so it's 5 out of 8 minus 2 out of 8. Answer is 3 out of 8. And then always at this point, students, do you need to simplify? In this case, no need. All right, can't be divided by 2. Okay, and then bottom can be divided by 2, so that you can't simplify in that sense. Okay, let's move on to guided practice. Here, make sure that they're able to convert the steps. Maybe if you think they are still unsure, try to demonstrate one more, right? So same thing, 4 out of 5 minus 7 out of 10. In order, you need to convert them into like fractions. So in this case, convert to the bigger denominator, 5 to change to 10, right? Show them the steps on the side if you need. Okay, this way, right? 10, and then just quickly do this, times 2. So times 2, and then you get 8, right? So they know it's 8 out of 10. Okay, then they should be able to do the rest on their own, right? So observe, right? Now for E and F, okay, it's just practice. Okay, this one is like fractions, so they should not be confused and attempt to convert the denominators, because the denominators are really the same. Okay, and then get them to do 2A, get them to do, let's see, E, what's the difference? So it's the understanding question. Difference means the greater fraction minus the smaller fraction. How do they know which is greater? How do they know which is smaller? Well, just convert one fraction first, right? So half is converted into 4 out of 8. Okay, write the steps. 4 out of 8 minus 1 equals 3/8. Then one more practice on their own on F. Let's see. And I think yeah, the rest is a lot of regurgitation. So I think generally not a lot of problem, right, for subtraction. So this one, okay, get them to try doing an equation on their own. Sorry, a fraction equation on their own. Okay, use all fractions to make an addition or subtraction equation. So it's up to them, right? Students may have the different answers, but the trick to doing this is, look at this. This is 5 out of 9, 1 out of 3, 2 out of 9. So convert this fraction into something out of 9 first. Okay, in which case will be 3 times 3, 9. 3 times 1, 3, right? So then from there, they can do a fraction, either addition or subtraction. Okay. This one is their own style. Okay. Who ate more pie? How much more? Right? Two-step word problem. So obviously, well, one of them must eat more. So it's up to them. So any random kind of fraction they can do as long as proper fraction. Okay. Because they only know proper fraction now. So this can be 2 out of 9, for example. Okay. Who ate more pie? Right? 5 out of 9 is greater. So they're going to show the step. 5 out of 9 is greater than 2 out of 9. Okay, accept any correct answers with two different fractions. Okay, and have a sum of less than one whole. Okay, so that's the criteria. Now, challenge them. If let's say they are able to come up with an equivalent, they have able to come up with equivalent fraction, that'll be even greater. So suppose, for example, maybe instead of 2 9, somebody comes up with let's see, 3 1/3. Okay, challenge them. Right, 3 times 3, no, and then sort of convert. So it can be Sarah 8 5 8 9 out of the pie, Nora 8 1/3 of the pie, right? So challenge them, right? You can do this. Okay, all right. Next booklet is on word problem, and relatively easy. So I shouldn't see. Oh no, let me see. Okay, let me share word problem. Yeah. All right. So word problem relatively easy. I would just go with guided practice. For this, they don't really have to draw the bar model. Okay, it's quite straightforward. So guided practice, right? Mary and Jared are picking limes. Mary filled 1/5, and then Jared filled 2/5 of the bucket. So how much did they fill all together? So this is a sign that it's an addition word problem. It's an addition fraction question. Okay, so they write the steps: 1 out of 5, 1 out of 5 plus 2 out of 5 equals 3 out of 5. Write the statement answer. Okay. Next question. So this one is addition, right? Because all together. This is comparison, which is small, right? So they got to do this step here. They got to convert 1/5 and 1/5 versus half. So how do you make? So they need to have the same common denominator, right? So get them to match 1/5 versus half. Okay, can they make 2 to become 5? If they cannot make 2 to become 5, then they need to look at the next common denominator, right? Which can be, right, 10. Okay, 2 times 5, 10. Okay, 1/5 convert into 210. 1/2 convert into 510. Okay, so teach them, right? If let's say these are unlike, then they can just multiply. Okay, unlike fractions, if 2 cannot multiply a number to become the greater denominator, then they can just multiply. Okay, this is one way of doing it, of course. All right, and then they got to show the step which is greater. Last question under guided practice. Okay, this one, if you read the question, it is a subtraction question. Right, what fraction of jug B was filled with apple juice at first? So here, ABC same size, A filled with this, then jug this contains some, and all the orange juice was poured into empty jug to make fruit punch, and the fruit punch became 3/4 filled. So this is a part whole question, right? One part given, one part unknown, and the whole is given. Okay, so hence equation is 3/4 minus 5 out of 12, and they need to do the conversion. Okay, then I've circled some questions for them to do in class. All right, these are questions that you have actually gone through with them. So they should be able to do it. All right, so yeah, mixture of addition, comparison, subtraction questions. Let's see, any more I have circled here. Addition, can they see one comparison, one addition, one subtraction, and that's it. Thank you. Yun.